Yo, it's Big Ant the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in as 50 Cent has decided to jump out there and use his number one tactic as beef to promote his latest product that he executive produced. Once again, as this time around, it's BMF, as it's going to be a part 2 to the documentary side of the collective that they had going on Stars, as they had the TV show that got canceled this last season, but they also had a whole deal as a whole where they were doing the documentary part to kind of like tell the storyline of the TV series and everything that went on with BMF. And he put this up on the gram today with the trailer. And I can't post that trailer right here because it's copyrighted through Stars, so I can't let y'all hear it.
For the internet woke up buzzing. Timelines moving faster than anyone could scroll, because a new wave of reports was making people ask an uncomfortable question. Did 50 Cent really alert the police? Or is this just another rumor born from documentary drama that spiraled out of control? Fans are shocked as headlines pop up everywhere, each one louder than the last, each one hinting at consequences without confirming a single fact. Emotions ran high, almost instantly, because the story touches power, influence, and old wounds that never fully healed. It all started with whispers, not statements.
Because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets. But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always with me.
Reaction channels began repeating what they called circulating reports, suggesting that behind-the-scenes conversations might have taken a serious turn. No one claimed proof, but the suggestion alone was enough. Fans are shocked because once that idea entered the conversation, it refused to leave. Comment sections filled with questions like, could he really do that? And why now? The tension felt real, even if the claims were not. The drama deepened as people tied these rumors.
Ordered in 2021 as a companion project to complement the Starz scripted crime drama BMF, which recently concluded its 4-season run on Starz. The show was canceled in October, leaving fans with a cliffhanger when Big Meech, Demetrius Flannery Jr., was arrested by Detective Von Bryant Steve Harris. There has been plenty of speculation regarding why BMF was canceled, with the spotlight on franchise executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson's beef with Big Meech. Sources at the time of the cancellation told Deadline that Jackson and Big Meech's frayed relationship was not the reason BMF ended. Jackson addressed the rumors during the recent chat with Deadline while promoting his ratings juggernaut Netflix docuseries Sean Combs' The Reckoning. BMF was already slightly declining in ratings before the last season started, and they made some creative choices that were, from my perspective, not good choices. Jackson told me in late November, I know people feel like I turned it off, but the networks would have continued to move forward with the show if it was doing the numbers it had been doing. So it's one thing me saying that the show...
Back to the BMF documentary. Commentators suggested that emotions ran high during its release, reopening personal conflicts and old rivalries. In one viral clip, a host leaned into the camera and said, I am not saying it happened, but people are talking. That single line echoed across platforms. Fans are shocked by how carefully chosen words can still ignite chaos.inter.
Mano, you got to add Dave East. Then like this week, he's been going at Clarissa Shields and Papoose. Who knows who next? He going back at Big Meech and Lil Meech. This is what 50 Cent is on. Expect more from this because he's going to use this dissing to promote it again.
Social media became the courtroom of public opinion. Some voices accused, others defended, and many admitted they were just confused. Emotions ran high as imagined dialogues took shape. One retelling pictured a tense phone call, someone asking, why would you even think that? While another voice replied, look at the timing. The family was left divided in these narratives, at least in the way the story was being told online. What makes this moment explosive is not evidence, but implication. The idea that influence alone could trigger action is what keeps people watching. Fans are shocked because the line between commentary and reality feels thinner than ever. As rumors swirl and reactions multiply, one thing is clear. This is not just about a documentary anymore. It is about how quickly speculation can turn into a full-blown drama, and everyone is waiting to see which version of the story takes over next. As the rumors continued to circulate, commentators began laying out how this entire situation supposedly unfolded according to online reports. The story being told was not presented as fact, but as a chain reaction sparked by timing, personalities, and long-standing tensions. Fans are shocked because the conversation shifted quickly from creative storytelling to speculation about real-world consequences. Emotions ran high as people tried to understand how a documentary could suddenly be linked to arrest rumors without any official confirmation. According to several reaction hosts, the release of the BMF documentary created emotional pressure behind the scenes. They claimed that unresolved feelings were brought back into the spotlight, especially for those connected by history rather than choice. In these retellings, Big Meech's brother was described as feeling exposed and targeted by the narrative forming online. One commentator imagined him saying that every headline felt heavier than the last. Fans are shocked because this imagined vulnerability made the story feel personal rather than distant. The focus then shifted toward 50 Cent, not for something proven, but for something suggested. Commentators repeated that no one was saying he directly contacted authorities. Yet the idea that he could alert someone through influence alone became the center of discussion. Emotions ran high as debates broke out over what influence actually means. One voice argued that when someone with reach speaks, it can move systems without intention. Another fired back, saying that blaming influence without proof was reckless. Fans are shocked by how divided opinions became in such a short time. Family reactions played a major role in how the story was framed. Some reports claimed that relatives felt blindsided by the way the conversation evolved. They were portrayed as watching their private struggles become public entertainment. The family was left divided in these narratives, with some believing the rumors should be confronted head-on and others insisting that addressing them would only add fuel. Fans are shocked because this tension felt believable, even though it came entirely from commentary. As reaction videos stacked up, the language used by hosts became more dramatic. Phrases like "sources are talking" and "whispers behind the scenes" were repeated often. Emotions ran high because these phrases suggested access without offering clarity. Fans are shocked at how icily vague wording can feel authoritative when delivered with confidence. Viewers admitted in comments that they could not tell where commentary ended and assumption began. Another layer added to the drama was timing. Commentators pointed out that the arrest rumors began swirling almost immediately after heightened reactions to the documentary. They suggested that coincidence alone was enough to raise suspicion. Emotions ran high as people connected dots that may not have been connected at all. Fans are shocked because the human mind naturally looks for patterns, especially when emotions are already charged. Imagined dialogues became a popular storytelling tool. One retelling described a tense exchange where someone asks, "Why now?" and another replies, "Because attention is at its peak." Fans are shocked because these scenes sounded cinematic, even though they were clearly speculative. The family was left divided again in these portrayals, painted as struggling with both fear and frustration. Some commentators attempted to slow the narrative down by reminding viewers that rumors are not reality. They emphasized that no arrests had been confirmed and no official statements existed. Emotions ran high because those calmer voices often felt drowned out by louder, more sensational takes. Fans are shocked by how difficult it is for restraint to compete with drama in online spaces. The role of fans themselves became part of the story. Commentators suggested that engagement was amplifying the rumors. Every share, every comment, every reaction added weight to something that might otherwise fade. Emotions ran high as viewers wrestled with guilt and curiosity at the same time. Fans are shocked because they realized they were not just watching the drama. They were helping shape it. Another twist in the narrative involved past conflicts being resurfaced. Commentators pulled old interviews, lyrics, and social media moments into the conversation. They framed these as context rather than evidence, but the effect was the same. Emotions ran high as viewers felt overwhelmed by the sheer amount of material being reinterpreted. Fans are shocked by how history can be repackaged to fit a present moment. As the story continued to evolve in commentary form, the emotional toll became a recurring theme. Big Meech's brother was portrayed as someone carrying the weight of speculation without a clear way to respond. One imagined scene described him sitting in silence while headlines scrolled endlessly. Fans are shocked because the image felt heavy, even though it was only a narrative device. The family was left divided once more in how this silence was interpreted, either as strength or vulnerability. Commentators also questioned the responsibility of media creators. They asked whether repeating rumors under the label of commentary was ethical. Emotions ran high as creators defended themselves by saying they were only reporting what was trending. Fans are shocked by how blurred the line between reporting and amplifying has become. By the end of this phase of the story, the narrative felt less about whether anyone alerted the police and more about how quickly speculation can gain power. Emotions ran high as viewers realized that the truth mattered less than momentum. Fans are shocked because momentum alone was driving the conversation forward, pulling everyone along whether they believed the rumors or not, then the version of events being shared online. No clear villain or hero emerged. Instead, there was confusion, tension, and unresolved emotion. The family was left divided in the public imagination, and the audience remained suspended between skepticism and intrigue. What began as documentary discussion had transformed into a full-scale drama built on reaction, assumption, and the relentless speed of online attention. That as the discussion expanded even further, commentators began exploring how rumor culture itself might be the real engine behind the chaos. According to these reports, the arrest talk did not come from official channels, but from the echo chamber created when speculation meets emotion. Fans are shocked because many realized that the loudest claims were often built on interpretation rather than information. Emotions ran high as viewers tried to trace the origin of the whispers and discovered there was no single source, only repetition. Some storytellers shifted focus toward the emotional pressure surrounding Big Meech's brother during this period. In these narratives, he was portrayed as trying to live his daily life while watching his name trend for reasons he could not fully control. One imagined dialogue described him saying that the hardest part was seeing strangers debate his future like it was a plot twist. Fans are shocked because that line reflected a fear many people share in the age of viral news. The conversation around 50 Cent continued to evolve in a careful but dramatic way. Commentators stressed again that no proof existed of any direct action, yet they kept returning to the idea of influence as a silent force. Emotions ran high, as some fans argued that influence does not equal responsibility, while others insisted that power always carries consequences. Fans are shocked by how quickly this debate turned philosophical, touching on fame, reach, and accountability. Family reactions were again central to the way the story was framed. Some reports suggested that relatives were frustrated not only by the rumors but by the lack of control over the narrative. The family was left divided in these retellings, with some wanting to issue statements to calm the storm, and others believing that public responses would only extend the lifespan of the rumors. Fans are shocked because both approaches felt reasonable and risky at the same time. Reaction channels continued to add dramatic layers by inviting guests who claimed to understand the situation. These guests often spoke in hypotheticals, using phrases like, "if this were true," or "imagine how it would feel." Emotions ran high because even hypothetical language felt loaded. Fans are shocked by how easily imagination can substitute for evidence when emotions are already charged. Another angle that gained traction involved timing and coincidence. Commentators pointed out that similar rumors had surfaced in the past around other high-profile releases. They suggested a pattern where attention peaks create fertile ground for speculation. Emotions ran high as viewers connected these dots, even while admitting that patterns do not always equal intent. Fans are shocked because recognizing that did not make the drama any less compelling. In private conversations became even more vivid in these One narrative described a tense family discussion where someone says that silence is being mistaken for guilt. Another imagined reply warned that speaking could twist words further. Fans are shocked because these scenes felt authentic, even though they were clearly constructed for storytelling. The family was left divided again in the way these imagined moments were shared. Some commentators attempted to bring empathy back into the conversation. They reminded audiences that behind every headline is a real person dealing with stress and uncertainty. Emotions ran high as viewers admitted they had not considered that perspective at first. Fans are shocked because empathy often arrives late in viral cycles, after damage has already been done. There were also accusations aimed at media culture itself. Commentators questioned whether creators were incentivized to keep rumors alive because drama drives views. Emotions ran high as some creators defended themselves, saying they were simply responding to audience demand. Fans are shocked by how openly this tension was discussed, revealing the business side of viral storytelling. As more people weighed in, confusion grew instead of clarity. Viewers complained that every new take contradicted the last. Emotions ran high because uncertainty is uncomfortable, especially when stakes feel personal. Fans are shocked because despite the lack of confirmation, the rumor still felt real to many simply due to repetition. Another emotional thread involved legacy. Commentators suggested that long histories and old narratives make people more willing to believe dramatic outcomes. Fans are shocked because legacy can feel like destiny when viewed through a dramatic lens. Emotions ran high as people debated whether the past should forever define the present. By this point, the story had become a mirror reflecting audience behavior as much as it reflected the individuals involved. Fans are shocked because they saw themselves in the cycle, reacting emotionally, speculating, and sharing. Emotions ran high as some viewers vowed to disengage, while others admitted they could not look away. The family was left divided once again in the public imagination, not because of confirmed actions, but because commentary thrives on contrast. Strength versus vulnerability, silence versus response, influence versus innocence. These opposing ideas fueled the narrative forward. As the noise continued, a strange normalization set in. What once felt shocking began to feel expected. Fans are shocked by how quickly intense drama can become routine. Emotions ran high even as fatigue crept in. leaving viewers both overwhelmed and curious. In this phase of the story being told online, the question was no longer whether the rumors were true. Instead, it became about how far they would go before fading. Fans are shocked because the momentum seemed self-sustaining. The family was left divided in how the audience perceived them, and the conversation continued to drift, guided not by facts, but by emotion, speculation, and the constant pull of attention. As the rumor cycle kept spinning, a new emotional layer entered the conversation when commentators began questioning motive rather than action. Instead of asking what happened, they asked why such reports would surface now. Fans are shocked because motive is harder to argue against than facts. Emotions ran high as people suggested that timing alone could shape belief. The documentary had reopened memories, reopened grudges, and reopened public curiosity, creating the perfect environment for speculation to thrive. Some narratives framed Big Meech's brother as feeling cornered by implication. In these tellings, he was described as trying to keep his distance from the noise while watching it grow louder. One imagined moment had him saying that no matter what he does, the story moves without him. Fans are shocked because that sense of powerlessness felt familiar to anyone who has been talked about rather than listened to. The family was left divided again in these portrayals, shown as struggling to balance unity with individual fear. Commentators also began dissecting public silence. They questioned whether silence was strategic or simply emotional exhaustion. Emotions ran high as viewers debated this endlessly. Some argued that silence can look like composure, while others claimed it invites suspicion. Fans are shocked by how much meaning can be assigned to nothing at all. In this environment, even absence becomes a statement. The role of influence returned to center stage, but with a sharper edge. Commentators emphasized that influence does not need a phone call to be effective. They suggested that when a powerful figure reacts publicly, others may act independently. Emotions ran high as this idea took hold. Fans are shocked because it creates accountability without evidence, a concept that feels both logical and unfair at the same time. Imagined exchanges continued to fuel the drama. One popular retelling described a private warning from a friend saying that the narrative was getting dangerous. Another imagined reply insisted that backing down would only confirm rumors. Fans are shocked because these scenes mirrored real-life dilemmas, even though they were speculative. The family was left divided once more in these stories, split between caution and defiance. Media personalities began comparing this situation to other high-profile controversies. They argued that history shows how fast rumor can harden into belief. Emotions ran high as viewers remembered past examples where speculation caused lasting damage. Fans are shocked because those memories made the current drama feel heavier and more urgent. At the same time, fatigue began to show among audiences. Comments appeared saying that the story felt endless, yet impossible to ignore. Emotions ran high as viewers admitted feeling overwhelmed but still curious. Fans are shocked by how attention can become a habit, even when it causes discomfort. Some commentators attempted to humanize everyone involved. They reminded viewers that behind influence and legacy are people with families and stress. Emotions ran high because this perspective briefly slowed the conversation. Fans are shocked by how rare empathy feels during viral moments, often drowned out by louder takes. Another twist came when speculation turned inward. Commentators questioned whether the audience itself was demanding drama. They suggested that the rumor survived because it satisfied a desire for tension and resolution. Emotions ran high as viewers confronted that idea. Fans are shocked because recognizing that role feels unsettling. As the narrative continued, the concept of truth became secondary to emotional impact. Commentators admitted that confirmation might never come, yet the story still mattered because of how it made people feel. Emotions ran high as viewers argued whether feeling justified belief. Fans are shocked by how easily emotion can replace evidence in public discourse. The family was left divided yet again in these narratives, portrayed as united in love but fractured by stress. Some imagined scenes showed quiet support, others showed sharp disagreements. Fans are shocked because both versions felt plausible. The lack of clarity allowed imagination to fill every gap. Toward the end of this phase, some voices began asking whether the story had reached its peak. They questioned how long rumors can survive without new fuel. Emotions ran high as viewers speculated about what might come next, even as they hoped for calm. Fans are shocked because the cycle felt familiar. Dramatic rise followed by uncertain fall. Still, the conversation did not fade. Instead, it settled into a tense waiting period. Viewers waited for statements, clarifications, or new headlines. Emotions ran high because waiting can feel worse than chaos. Fans are shocked by how anticipation itself became part of the drama. By now, the story being told online was less about an alleged alert and more about modern spectacle. It showed how quickly narratives form, evolve, and attach themselves to people. Emotions ran high as audiences reflected on that reality. The family was left divided in the story's emotional core, not by confirmed actions, but by the weight of attention itself, proving once again that in the age of constant commentary, perception often travels faster than truth. As the story reached its final phase in the commentary cycle, the tone shifted again, this time toward reflection and consequence. Commentators began framing the whole situation as a lesson about how quickly online narratives can spiral. Fans are shocked because what started as a rumor now felt like a cultural moment, a snapshot of how the internet turns everything into a drama. Emotions ran high as people began questioning their own role in spreading the story. Some narratives focused on the toll of being constantly watched. In these retellings, Big Meech's brother was described as living in a state of constant alert, where every notification felt like a threat. One imagined dialogue had him telling a friend, "I just want to breathe without the world watching." Fans are shocked because that longing felt painfully real, even though it was constructed from speculation. The family was left divided in these portrayals, shown as trying to protect one another while dealing with fear. The conversation around 50 Cent continued, but it became less about him personally and more about what he represents. Commentators emphasized that his influence is undeniable, but they also argued that influence does not equal intent. Emotions ran high as people debated whether he should be held accountable for how his reactions are interpreted. Fans are shocked by how complicated accountability becomes when influence is involved. Another major twist in the commentary involved the idea of a silent statement. Some storytellers suggested that the absence of denial could be interpreted as confirmation, while others argued that silence is simply a refusal to engage with rumor. Emotions ran high as viewers argued over this. Fans are shocked because the same silence could be seen as strength or weakness, depending on who is watching. As the narrative settled, some commentators began emphasizing the importance of perspective. They reminded viewers that documentaries often revisit difficult history and that reactions are natural. Emotions ran high as people acknowledged that while drama is entertaining, real lives are involved. Fans are shocked by how quickly the story shifted from speculation to a broader conversation about media responsibility. The role of the audience became a central theme. Commentators suggested that fans and viewers had played a part in creating the tension by constantly demanding updates and interpretations. Emotions ran high as people admitted they were addicted to the cycle of drama. Fans are shocked because recognizing their own involvement felt uncomfortable, yet liberating. There were also moments of backlash against the rumor itself. Some voices argued that the arrest talk was irresponsible and harmful, especially without evidence. Emotions ran high as these critics demanded more restraint from creators. Fans are shocked by how strongly some people pushed back, insisting that speculation should not become a narrative that can ruin lives. As the story began to wind down, the question of legacy resurfaced. Commentators suggested that this situation showed how past stories never truly disappear. They argued that the internet keeps history alive. For better or worse, emotions ran high as viewers reflected on how easily a narrative can be revived, reshaped, and amplified. Toward the end, some narratives offered a form of emotional closure, not by confirming facts, but by acknowledging uncertainty. One imagined scene described a family gathering where someone said, "We cannot control what people say, but we can control how we respond." Fans are shocked because that sentiment felt like a quiet, powerful ending to the chaos. In the final analysis, the story became a mirror of modern media culture. It showed how quickly speculation can become drama, how influence can be interpreted as action, and how audiences can turn rumors into reality. Emotions ran high, even as the noise faded, proving that the impact of a story does not depend on its truth. The family was left divided in the collective imagination, not because of confirmed events, but because drama thrives on tension. And as the cycle finally began to slow, the only certainty was that the conversation had changed the way people think about influence, power, and the speed of online storytelling. So, now that you've heard the full story as it's being told online, the real question is what you believe. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the family was left divided in the public eye. But what do you think is actually going on behind the scenes? Do you believe 50 Cent used his influence to push the narrative? Or is this just another rumor blown up by reaction channels and thirsty audiences? If you were in Big Meech's brother's shoes, how would you handle this? Would you speak out to clear the air? Or would you stay silent to avoid giving the rumors more power? And what about the documentary itself? Do you think it should have been released if it had the potential to reopen old wounds? Or is storytelling worth the risk? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now and let us know which side you're on. Do you think the arrest rumors are real, or do you believe this is all just speculation that got out of hand? We want to hear your opinions, because your voice matters in this conversation. And if you want more updates like this, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next part of the story. Your support helps us keep bringing you the hottest drama and the deepest breakdowns. Stay tuned, stay safe, and remember, in the world of online rumors, the truth is often stranger than the story.